Awesome, awesome. All right, so I think we should get started because we have so much to talk about. So I'll say it again quickly. I didn't do it very properly, but I'm Coach Mo, Monique. I'm one of your VIP coaches, and I'm hosting today with Coach Celeste.
Hello, I'm Coach Celeste. I see a lot of my babes on here. I'm so proud of my team right now.
Love that. Hey, Barbara, I see her waving. I like that even better.
Yeah. Okay,
Keep
ladies.
watching.
Let's just kickstart this call with some mindset hacks. All right. So it is really important to know your why. Like, why are you here? What is your reason for being here? And I'm going to tell you something. You losing 20 pounds or getting toned or getting rid of the bat wings is not your why. It is a reason you want to be here, but it's not the why. The why is something deeper. It's something like maybe your knees hurt and you can't walk up a flight of stairs. Or maybe you have like adorable grandchildren and you can't play with them because you don't have the stamina. You can't get down on the ground. You can't get back up. Like those are your whys. Those are the real reasons why you're in your program, this program. And I'm going to tell you, this is why this is so important, because you're going to have times when you don't feel like working out, you don't feel like meal prepping, you don't feel like getting your steps in, and you're going to have to tell your feelings. You have to give your feelings the hand, because you're going to have to dig into that why, because that why is going to be the reason that you get your butt out of bed and put on your workout clothes and get your butt in that cart and go to the gym. That is what's going to help you move forward, because I'm going to tell you, there are times on this journey when it's not all rainbows and unicorns and it's just the boring, mundane stuff. And you need to know why you're on this journey, and you need to be anchored in that so damn strongly so that you can stay the course over the next 12 months. Okay. So made that clear? Know your why. Next, I want to talk about the phases. Some of you may already know what phase you're in. Most of my team is in the retrain phase, because that is where we are basically feeding your body more calories nice and slowly so that we can support your metabolism and boost that up. And that's how we do that, through slowly increasing your calories. So again, I don't know what phase you're in. I'm only saying that based on like my team. So that's probably something you want to ask your coach if you don't know that already. But other phases that you will hear about while you're in here is the retrain, which I just told you. Maintenance, which is where all the money and all the magic happens. And you want to spend the bulk of your time in maintenance. You want to learn to love maintenance, because that is where you get to eat the right amount of food and your body gets to recomp. And so many amazing things happen in maintenance, and we just don't hear about it or talk about it enough, especially on like social media and all the noisy stuff out there. Okay. Then of course there is the build phase, which is where you're eating a little more calories to build that muscle, because ladies, you're not getting toned if you do not spend some time building that muscle. That's where the toneness comes from. Okay. And then you're going to, of course, have your cutting phase or your calorie deficit. Those terms are thrown around interchangeably. And that is when you're eating less food than your body wants, and it's stressful, and it's not all rainbows and unicorns, and it's hard, and you have to be ready. And if you're in my team, you know, like there are hard and strict rules to go into a deficit. So just know that it's not like, don't be in a rush to get there. Get there when your coach tells you it's time, and so that you'll be more successful. Cool.
Love that. So it's the holidays, so retrain or maintenance is the right place to be in the next few months. So don't rush perfection, ladies. It takes some time to get there. So making sure you have the expectations set right. There have to be realistic, right? And there might be things you already learned within 1 or 2 weeks in WarriorBabe, like, oh, this is different than I expected, right? That's cool. Take it in, learn it, and trust the process. Consistency is key. Trusting the process and consistency is something we say a lot for all the right reasons. So remember, every Tuesday, but tomorrow, we have a community call based on mindset. We go different ways with that. We're explaining different things, but this is because it's such a big piece. I know you came here for macros, you came here for the best workout, and here we are all talking about mindset because it's such a big piece. So this is why it's so important. You had your first call with your coach, your onboarding call. There was a lot of information, and maybe now you're here, and we basically gonna dive a little deeper in all these things and a little broader, because we don't have your exact example here, but giving you some suggestions, some tips that you can use along the way. If you haven't already, or you might have soon, you have your 2-week call with your coach. I call it the tech call because there's a lot of things, right? Different apps or different things about the check-in. You're going to learn about that and a little bit more. So if you don't have your macros yet, or you don't have any idea what phase you're in, that is totally fine right now. Your coach is just getting to know you, wants some more information, maybe needs more food log before she can make that decision for you. So again, it's totally fine. There might be things today that we're talking about you haven't come across, but you will soon. Don't you worry. It's very important that you celebrate the small wins. You have a weekly check-in, which is a form that with questions you have to answer every week. And one of the things is we ask you, what is your win? We love it when you give us any wins, okay? We like emojis too, but we really like to know you a little bit deeper and celebrate with you. So you always have a win. Let me tell you right now, okay? So that is for your expectations, important piece. We coaches are here for you and we'll give 110, say 150%. But we need you to meet us somewhere, right? We cannot make your food. We cannot eat it for you. We cannot do your workout. We cannot do your check-ins. I wish I could sometimes just to take a little stress from some of you away, but really right now in a remote space, that's not possible yet. So remember that we are on your team. Everything we say and do is for your best interest. Don't ghost us. Don't think that you're disappointing us ever. And I'm saying that right now because a lot of you are maybe new and like, of course, I'm full of excitement. I'm great. I'm happy to be here and everything's going to be fine. But Celeste kind of already said it. There's going to be some hurdles along the way, and that's okay. And that's exciting. And this is why we have such a long time together, right? So don't hold back. We are not mind readers and we love to get all of your information. We're here for you. Trust us. In your onboarding call, your coach might have said something about the 10-80-10 principle. And if you're reading and looking at Nikki's messages that you get per email about 2 to 3 times a week, she also touches on this. This is because 10% of the warrior babes crushes it in week 1, week 2, first month, macros, workouts. I can tell you they all had some kind of background in this already. So if you're new to macros, please be happy to be in that 80%. Where you're gonna get results, but you're learning so many things about yourself and about the program along the way. It just takes time. Now there's 10%, and I really want to say none of the babes that's on here right now is that the bottom 10%, but they're stopped responding to us. They don't even message us back in the app. They don't even log in the app. We want to give you the best ROI that we can give you. So you gotta stay in touch with us. We all have rough weeks, and maybe you forgot to check in one day. It's all okay, but please message us, let us know what's going on, and we're here to help. One more tech thing. If you have an app, MyFitnessPal for your food, and you have the WarriorBabe / Trainerize app for everything else, yes, they talk together. Your watch might talk to the Trainerize app, but they don't always work well. So let me take one piece of stress out of your mind right now. Forget about these apps talking to each other. If they do, great. If they don't, who cares? The steps you take are important, not the ones that get tracked into Trainerize. We're going directly into the food app for a reason. We don't trust the connection either. So again, it's great when they talk, and if you have it set up, leave it. But if it one day decides not to communicate with each other, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Cool. Okay, so we talked a little bit about, once your goal is determined, and Mo touched on the importance of celebrating your small wins. And I cannot stress that enough. It is so sad to get a check-in form and I get an oh, no. What was your win for the week? Nothing. You filled out that check-in form. That's a win. Like I will go through and find 3 wins for my babes if they put no on there, because I'm like, oh, you just brought on a challenge. Like, let's go. Okay. Every little thing is a win. You hitting your water for the goal is a win. You deciding to have protein at every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's a win. Like, you got to retrain your brain to see the wins and not see that I didn't do this or I didn't do that, because that list is long and you've already lived over there. Okay. We're not subscribing to that anymore. We're subscribing to celebrating the small wins. And I'm going to share a quote that I shared with my team is, I want you to stop thinking about the outcome, and I want you to start thinking about the behaviors that will lead to the outcome that you want. Okay. because that's what's going to drive that change. Okay. Not focusing on like, I didn't drop any weight this week. I didn't see any changes. That type of thinking is going to keep you stuck where you are right now. And we are about moving forward. We are about celebrating every little single thing that you're doing. And also, I challenge you to learn how to praise yourself. Learn how to tell yourself, like, I'm so proud of you for this. I'm so proud of you for that. It seems weird. I know this because my team does it and they're like, this feels really awkward, coach. But I'm like, do it anyway, because you cannot praise yourself and criticize yourself at the same time. You cannot hold space for that in your brain at the same time. So praise yourself when you, yes, self-care is not selfish. It is not selfish. And it's not, you are not, I don't know, obnoxious or whatever, conceited. If you say that you're really good at doing something, you need to celebrate yourself. If you did that workout, if you showed up at the gym that day, celebrate every little thing. Everything matters, getting in enough sleep, managing your stress. This program, we will dive into this more, is more than just macros and workouts, you guys. Like, it is so much more than that. Stress and sleep are the two most underrated fat loss hacks out there, which we'll go into that more, but I just want to touch on that a little bit. About celebrating the wins, and think of it like your 401k. Like, you're just putting that money in, because you started at 25 and now you're 55 and you're going to retire with $1 million. Okay. Same thing goes with this process.
Yes, it's all about budgets. We're going to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So this was our little tidbit about mindset. The chat's quiet. You're all doing great. Are there any questions on mindset? No, we cannot motivate you, but we will be here to give you the tools to stay disciplined. But we're motivating you along the way, though, with messages, pictures, podcasts, Facebook groups, all the things. So that's kind of already said that. Let's talk about a budget. And in this case, we're talking about a macro budget. So very briefly, what is a macro? You might be brand new and you're not sure. There is 3, well, technically 4, but let's just keep it simple. 3 micronutrients. Macronutrients, good job, Mo. Protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Once you have a full set of macros, you might start with not having macros yet, and you're just tracking your food. Perfect. Maybe you're focusing on eating breakfast. Fantastic. Maybe you have a protein goal only. Beautiful, right? We meet you where you're at. Your coach knows what's going on and sets your goals. Other than that, a lot of us, well, you see in my fitness pal and on the apps, you have the 3 macros. You're getting an amount of your coach, and that gradually changes in percentages, like up or down ratios. The grams go up or down, again, depending on what phase you are, depending what biofeedback we get from your body, whatever your goals are. This is important that you reach these numbers with about 5 grams up or down. That is across the board what we say consistent is. You do not have to hit 000 all of the time. That is extremely difficult. Some of you do it all the time, so I know that, but you really don't need to. 5 grams up or down. Maybe you and your coach agreed on 10 grams or something different. Totally listen to your coach, but that's kind of average where we're going for towards the end of your goal. Is macro counting forever? That we'll see. If you love it, if you don't like it, if it works with your lifestyle, all the things. But it's definitely a tool you need to really master in the beginning, because that's what's going to set you up for possibly intuitive eating down the road or doing anything different. Now, remember, macros is not a diet. That's very important. It is a lifestyle. And even right now, you might find it a tedious, exhausting, hardworking lifestyle. It will get better, because once you get the hang of it, you look at some food, you look at a plate, and you know the macros. That doesn't happen in a week, though, and not even in a month, and might not even in a year. But it will get easier, and everyone's different too. But remember, it's not a diet. There is no good food. There is no bad foods. Food don't have morals. Are there things that are better for you than others? And again, it could be very individually as well. Absolutely. Something that works better for your macro budget, right? Same thing. If you have lots of money, you can buy a very fancy purse. If you have lots of carbs, you will definitely have more room for a cookie. Right? If you're limited on carbohydrates or fat, maybe avocado right now needs to be smaller than it was before. There is just budgeting. It's no different. So one of the things is you got to pre-log. I know. Your coach already told you this. Mm-hmm. But you don't know what you want to eat later today, or you don't know what's going to be on the table. Well, that's a mindset hack you got to change, because to hit your macros, for most of us, we got to pre-plan, or we are pro in macros. Then it's different too. But in the beginning, for sure. So you go sit there the night before or the morning off, however your lifestyle works. You're gonna log these things. You're gonna look how many grams of carbs, fat, or protein you might be missing or over, and you're gonna play a little bit of a game, a Tetris game, a replacement game. Gonna make these macros work together, right? But you can only do that if you plan ahead. Most of us will have macros conveniently 7 days a week the same. Maybe you have an on-track meal. Maybe you're training for endurance, so your macros are a little different on the very long run day. But the majority of us have the same macros on lifting days and on rest days, which is fine because you need fuel even when you're not training. Actually, you need it more, but that we can talk about that later. Plus your digestive system likes it when you get kind of the same. So think about puppies or small children. They kind of get the same thing all the time and it feels good. When we all changed the clocks this weekend, we're all a little messed up, aren't we? I know not everyone changed the clock, but if you did and you have children or pets, great, you didn't get an extra hour sleep. So remember, your body really just loves consistency. That's why that's going. So majority of the time, that's why we have 7 days a week, the same macros. Pre-planning, eating every 2 to 4 hours. We're generally not recommending fasting or anything like that. We just want to get you to the same consistent routine. And that is extremely hard in the beginning. So this is where that trust in the process and taking your time really comes into. Now, the fourth macro, but I'm really not going to go into right now because we only have an hour, is alcohol. But Nikkiey said no goals for that. Okay, fair. So we're changing that a bit. So if you do have an alcoholic adult beverage, it's going to happen maybe over the holidays. That's totally fine. Talk to your coach how to track that, because we're not just tracking it as alcohol. We're tracking it as either carbohydrates or fat. So again, if that's something you're interested in, just talk to your coach. He'll explain to you in a little bit more detail. We also have an entire call on alcohol and caffeine as well, if you want to dive a little deeper in that. Nikkiey has some podcasts. So again, nothing to stress about right now, just something to keep an eye on in the future.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about pre and post workout meals. Now, most of you are pretty new, so if this terminology might be like, what is she talking about? Don't freak out. It is something that you will want to maybe incorporate with your coach. But again, this is the conversation to have with your coach. You may not even have a pre or post workout meal, but they are important. A pre-workout meal is like, as what it sounds like. The meal you're having, I shouldn't say meal, call it a pre-workout snack, because it's going to be smaller. It's not going to be a gigantic meal. It's going to be at least 15 grams. That's according to the research. Okay. Grams of protein up to 25. And then you want a little bit of carbs. It doesn't have to be a ton, right? And you also want to think about like, what can I digest? So like, I probably wouldn't chow down on a big old bowl of oatmeal before I'm going to go lift. That would sit too heavy in my stomach. But a really good option would be like one of those Fairlife ready to go drinks and like a banana. Okay. Those are two things you can eat on the go, easy to digest. So especially if you're working out first thing in the morning, you want to think of what can I grab? What can I eat? What can I digest enough? Right. It also doesn't, you don't want to have a lot of fats in it, because that's going to slow down the digestion. We want to use those little trickery things with digestion for later on in the day. Okay, so that would be what a pre-workout snack is. We're going to call it a snack, not a meal. And then your post-workout meal, that's going to be bigger. That doesn't have to be a separate meal. That could be like your breakfast, so like first meal of the day type of thing, right? That's going to have, higher protein. I'm one of those minimum 30-35 grams of protein at every meal, so that my babes can hit their targets at the end of the day. But you're going to want to have more protein there, and then you're going to want to have more carbs as well in that post-workout meal. So like I said, if you work out first thing in the morning, it's usually like pre-workout, and then it's like breakfast, but if you're going to go run some errands, then you might need something smaller to have as a go-to before you get home to have that meal. It's just really important to not go for an extended period of time after a workout without food, in the same way that we don't work out fasted either. Okay. We don't subscribe to that anymore. And it'll make a difference in your lifting. You will notice a difference in how much stronger you are and how much better the workout just is in general when you feed your body properly for the activity that it's going to do. Because remember, food is fuel. I know that sounds really boring, but your body actually does need calories and way more than your body's been probably taking in before you started WarriorBabe. So don't fear these meals. You're working with your coach, and you trust your coach and trust in the process. She's got your back. She knows what you need. She's planning things out so you can be super successful in this program. So don't get overwhelmed by that. And what else I want to talk about? Oh, when it comes to tracking, I feel like this doesn't get talked about. Is one, you got to use a food scale. Like if you haven't bought it yet, hop on over to Amazon, get yourself a digital one. I highly recommend one with the USB plugs. You don't have to deal with batteries, but I'm just saying you get one for under 20 bucks, okay? And
Smart.
you will use a food scale every single time you go to eat something. Just get into the habit of like putting your plate on the scale, tearing it out, putting that first piece of protein on there, weighing that out, logging it up, and tear it out. If you just get into the habit of literally building your meal on top of your food scale, it will become autopilot for you, and it'll be so much easier. The reason you weigh your food is because measurement cups lie. Okay, they lie to you. And if you go based on eyeballing, have you ever seen a cereal bowl nowadays? Like that thing is huge. A serving of cereal is gonna barely like cover the very bottom of a cereal bowl. So we're not looking at plates to determine how much food we're eating. Use the food scale. It is so important. So like I said, if you have not purchased that, that is the first thing you're gonna do after this call, okay? Now, does it matter if you track in grams or ounces? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. What matters though is that you stay consistent in how you're tracking. So if you're putting grams on the scale, then in MyFitnessPal, it goes as grams. If you're using ounces, it goes as ounces. What matters is what works best for you. I will tell you personally, I don't know why I do all my meat in ounces, but I do everything else in grams. I don't know why, but it's just, I've been tracking for like 20 years though. So like, I don't know how to change that. So do what works best for you, because that's how you're going to make it become a habit so that you don't have to think about it. You just do it. That's why these are habit buildings inside this program. And then I want to touch on just a little bit more on water, sleep, and stress. It is so important. The 64 ounces of water that's on your check-in form is a bare minimum. And that is because your body actually pulls out 64 ounces of water for organ function. Okay, so you need that just for your body to function properly. And if you don't get enough, you're going to retain water and you're going to feel bloated and you're going to feel puffy, and your body just needs one of these. So if you haven't gone and bought a really cute water bottle yet, this 40 ounces, again, add that to your Amazon cart. Okay. I say get a 40 ouncer because if you do this twice, that's 80. I mean, that's like foolproof to get your water. Okay. No more of the like carrying around the little like dispensable water bottles is like 16 ounces. Like, no, that is not going to help you. So you're in the big leagues now. Go, and it's got to be cute because you're going to carry it with you everywhere. Okay. That's why mine's pink. Okay. Let's talk about sleep and stress. Whew, this is a non-negotiable in my team, and those are my girls that are on the team here or on the call. No, 7 to 8 hours is non-negotiable, you guys. Like I can't even stress that enough. If you are not making that a priority, that needs to be a priority as well. 5 hours, 4 hours is not enough sleep. Think of your body like a little factory, okay, like a 24-hour factory. Okay, so when you close your eyes at night, right? Your body behind the scenes is doing all this stuff internally, restore, all the R words are happening when you're sleeping. So if you're not getting that 7 to 8 hours, your body doesn't get a chance to do what it needs to do. So you wake up feeling refreshed. Okay. I'm not going to get into more about the sleep things because that's for a whole nother call. And then stress. When I see on my check-in, stress is manageable, I'm like, okay, we're going to dive into that more because you have stress. It's about putting stress buffers in place to help you manage your stress. And again, sleep and stress are two things that are going to hold you back on your results. And that's why we talk about it so much. That's why we have calls on it, separate calls about that. So check the link because there's probably one on stress too, where you can learn more about that. But I'm gonna leave that there for now because we only have so much time and we gotta just keep on going. Okay.
We do have some great questions in the chat though.
Cool.
From Cindy, how long before your workout do you eat pre-workout meal or snack?
Like 30 minutes at least. Yeah.
Yep. I'll say the same thing. I mean, whatever works, your body has its own digestion. You'll know when your ate too quick, you try to work out. We've all been there. Not a great feeling.
Yeah.
If towards the end of your workout or in the middle of your workout, you're starting to like faint, like you get hungry, you're losing your strength, you either need more pre-workout meal or maybe you need to lift sooner, right? But again, everyone's a little bit different, so you'll notice it. But like 30 minutes is a good amount. Same
Yeah.
also question, what if you work out early in the morning? Would you still eat, right? Yes. Something simple. And again, if you eat something that digests well in your body, you can, if you drive to the gym, you can kind of wake up and maybe while you make the kids breakfast, or maybe when you just kind of get ready, open the curtains, whatever, you eat your rice cake or your piece of toast. Maybe you drink a protein shake on the way to the gym. Is that exactly 30 minutes? No, probably less, but it's better than nothing. We don't need you to wake up and have an entire meal and sit down.
Mhm.
That's, that sounds really nice, but that's probably not what's going to happen for most of us.
Yeah.
And a question here, if you work out early in the morning when you walk a few miles with the dog, should you have my breakfast protein shake before or after the walk?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I was gonna say that depends.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't, that depends. That's a good question. That's a really good one. That could go either way.
For me, if you would lift right after, I'd say walk the dogs, eat something with carbs and protein or drink, and then go lifting. So you're fueled for it. But if you work out from home and that half an hour is kind of like your buffer between eating and lifting, then maybe you have the food first, then you walk, then you lift right away. Or maybe if you're not working out at all, like lifting is still later, if you just walk the dog, you can do that faster than, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with Mo. Same thing. Yeah, that's one of those it depends questions.
But your coach will know your lifestyle better, your workouts, your cardio, so she can answer that question real good
Yeah, those are
for
awesome
you.
questions. Awesome questions.
Yeah, great questions.
That's a
Are there
great,
any other questions before we move on till the next chapter of today?
yeah.
If they come up later, just put them in the chat.
Okay, that's a cool segue because we're going to talk about working out and training and how to be successful. And I just said this today. Nobody ever walks out of the gym and says, "Gosh, why did I do that workout? Man, like what? I just feel horrible." No, you walk out of that workout and you feel amazing because you got the endorphins high and you feel good and you feel confident because you crushed that workout. You showed up for yourself and you were confident. So the best workout is the one that's really important. Nail your workouts. And the worst workout is the one that you don't do. Okay. So that is really important. Be confident. You're walking in the gym like already, like right here, locked and loaded. You have your program, you know what you're doing. I also recommend, like, if you haven't done this, go buy yourself at least one workout outfit, at least something that you feel good in, a bra that fits, maybe, I don't know, something that feels good. And so you have the confidence walking in there, not just in the clothes, but it's kind of like, I think of it like as your suit of armor, like set your clothes out the night before. That ensures that you hop right in them. Like I used to have a golden rule, like once you shimmy the bra on, like, because that's a lot of work, you're not taking a shower until it comes off. So now you're already dressed. You're dressed for the workout and you're ready to go. Okay. So that's how you start your day, right? Because now you're somebody who like works out 2 to 3 days a week and it's just who you are. All right. So you're confident, you trust the plan, you got your plan for your coach, you're ready to rock and roll. What do you do with the workouts as far as like what's the what weight should I choose, things like that? Because that's always a common question, because we are going to tell you the rep ranges, the number of sets, but like how much weight you choose is going to be up to you because you're all individual. So it's important that you choose form and technique over everything else. Okay. So I like the term master that movement. Okay. So when I say master that movement, I mean you need to be able to do a body weight squat so perfect and well form wise before we add the dumbbells, because you can make a body weight squat super challenging by just slowing it down, pausing at the bottom, right, holding that bottom the spot and then coming up nice and slow. So we start there, right? And a rule of thumb is, let's just say you're programmed for 10 to 12 reps, right? And you get to like rep 12 and you're just like busting out your bicep curls, and you could have done like 15 more. One, we're not working hard enough. Two, we're not paying attention there because we're not be swinging weights like this, right? And three, you probably need a little bit heavier weight. So don't be afraid to go a little bit heavier. Like, those 2s and 3s, yeah, you might have a few things you might be using those for, but you're going to be using heavier weights because you're getting stronger. You're eating protein now, you're building muscle, you're doing all the things, right? So don't be afraid to go a little bit heavier. I always like to use my first set as like my test set. Like, okay, where am I today? Like, how am I feeling? Because your body might feel different. Like maybe you sometimes you just have an off day. You're not always going to go into a workout and like have 100%. Like that's just not how life is. Like sometimes you're going to be like, meh, that was a C workout, but I did it, right? So always use that first set to test out blah, the weight, the number that you're going to use, and obviously you're going to use your past workouts as well. But fill that out first, okay? If that's feeling really heavy that day, then maybe that's where you are for that day. It's okay. As I said before, you're not always going to feel 100% every single workout, right? So trust yourself, maintain your form, pay attention to the rest times. They're there for a reason. We don't just program them for fun. Like they're meant for you to rest. Your body needs rest in between each movement pattern because you are building muscle. You are not in an Orange Theory class. We are not at F45. This is not circuit training, right? So if it says 60 seconds, rest for 60 seconds. If you need something to do, you can just walk around the equipment, add in more steps. You can get out your phone and maybe you can track your lunch or something or track your breakfast that you had. 60 to 90 seconds is pretty standard, especially in the beginning. It might get more. You might be up to 2 minutes or 3 minutes, depending on your program, but it's really important to take that rest time. It's there for a reason, okay? Let's see, anything else I want to say about working out? I said the weight, just, as females, we're prone to not do stupid shit in the gym. Like we're just safer than like males. However, that doesn't mean that you don't want to push yourself, like push yourself to get stronger with each workout. Push yourself to go a little bit farther. Like don't be afraid to pick up the heavier weights because as I said earlier, that toned body that you desire is going to require you to lift some heavy shit. Okay. It is what it is. So get comfortable with that. Be smart. Pay attention to your form, pay attention to your technique. Don't be like no junk volume, no junk reps. Like those don't even count. Like it's pointless, and put your game face on. Like get in there, put your headphones on, like put your RBF face on. I don't know what you need to tell yourself, but like go in there with like, I'm here to work. I've got a job to do. Get in and get the heck out, you're busy, you have limited time, you can easily get a very, very toned body, get in really good shape with 3 45-minute workouts a week, right? But you got to get in there and get the job done when you're there.
Yeah. Yes. No wasting no time. And this also counts for all of you that work out from home. How easy is it to just change the laundry, maybe to play with the dog, which could be good in your rest times, right? And of course, if you work out with, you have very young, maybe newborn children, yes, maybe you'll have to do 1 rep, feed the baby, whatever, and go back. If that's the only way of you getting your workout in, absolutely. Any workout's better than nothing. But really, you deserve 3, 4 times a week, 45 minutes, something like that. If it's only 30, that's great, right? That time for you and your workout without the laundry, the kids, the job, right? If you try and make that work because it's really good for you. And it's, again, self-care is not selfish. It's important that you take that time for you and you can make time. If that means you have to plan your calendar, you can log into, I would like to say almost everyone that works for WarriorBabe and look at our WarriorBabe calendars. The workouts are on there. No questions asked. Celeste is in the gym. We're not having a meeting right now, right? We respect that. And I understand that we're working for WarriorBabe, so it's a little different maybe for your job. But if you have an appointment with your doctor or even have lunch scheduled with your best friend, that is equally as important as scheduling out your workouts, right? Plan if your life is kind of all over and you work shift work or depending on the kids drop off, okay, then schedule it every week at a different time. You can drag and drop these workouts in the apps in seconds or ask your coach, right? But plan ahead so it's not like I have 4 workouts left and now it's Saturday because it's going to get tricky. Follows me on the day. You don't do 2 workouts in one day unless it's like a warm up, a core, a cardio, right? Your coach has explained to that. But don't do 2 workouts that your coach broke out for Monday, Wednesday in one day. As the video said, there's no workout that is not good, but it's not ideal. If you can do 2 workouts in one day, sorry to tell you, but you didn't work hard enough. You shouldn't have that energy. You shouldn't have that power in you. And I understand upper and lower body feels like different, but it's not. Because when you're doing squats, your hands are working too, right? Like your grip is working too, your core is working, your back's working. So again, no. If your have cardio and lifting on your calendar, unless your coach said anything different, cardio is after your lifting. We want that pre-workout meal to work in your lifting. We want all that focus you brought into the gym into your lifting to keep it safe and to go heavier. Cardio is for most of us the secondary part. Cardio is a tool for fat loss. Absolutely. Cardio is great for cardiovascular health, good for our heart. We get all that. But in the majority, depending what you're here for, and you're not an endurance athlete, some of you are here to train for triathlon, so it might be a little different for you, but the majority of the time, cardio is after your workout on a different day or later in the day, but not prioritizing cardio over lifting. The workouts that are created for you in an order that makes sense. Why we often do like a compound lift, so a big lift, like your bench press, your deadlift, your squats first. Then we do maybe a secondary move on that. And maybe then at the end of your workout, you see some core, some triceps, some biceps. Again, there's a reason for that, because with its compound, bigger lifts, you're generating a lot more power, using a lot more muscle. You need more of that pre-workout fuel. You need the strength. You often see longer rests there. And then towards the end, maybe you have more isolation exercises, like a tricep dip, very painful, but only for a small part of your body, right? Maybe the rest is a little different. Maybe you have a superset there. That is a reason why we program like that, because we want you to put all the power in the first. But then we like to mix it up too. You know, I do like a bench press at the end of the workout. And now we're right there. Be careful. This is a power move that I added at the end, meaning don't go as heavy because you're going to burn out quick. If some machine is taken in your gym, right? I totally understand. You don't have 45 minutes to wait for the Smith machine. I get it. So maybe you have to move things around, but try and do that only if absolutely necessary. If there's anything that's really not convenient in the setup of your gym, just talk to your coach. We are changing the workout for you to make it work, or give you a reason why we really want you to do it our way, right? But we work with you. We totally get it, but there's a reason there. So don't blow past these rest times. Don't start moving workouts around. Don't do 2 workouts in a day. Like, follow the plan, basically. And now also not say, well, you know, I really like my spin classes. My coach said not to, but I'm going to do them anyway. Okay, cool. But that doesn't work. We need to know what's going on. If you really want to do your spin class, or you want to go once a week to CrossFit because you love working out with your community, communicate with us. We're not evil. We'll make it work, right? We'll prioritize what we want, but make it work for you as well. Absolutely. But we really want to know what you're doing, right? But we don't want to stop things you're doing, love doing either. If you love hiking on the weekends, go for kayaking with your friends. We want you to enjoy all of these things. We just want to make sure you eat the proper amount of food, you have enough rest. We want to understand why your body reacts a certain way. So we just need that communication in that. Because overtraining is a thing, especially if you're female and over 40, which some of you might are. Like, less can be more. Like taking these longer rests, stop doing the jumping jacks in between sets. And it feels so weird in the beginning. But there's a reason. We've thought about this. We talked about this. We done research about this. We have training over this. There's a reason. So please look at the notes, follow all the things. The same thing, you might get tempo notes. Maybe not in your first workout, but later on, it might say pause for 2 seconds at the bottom, or last set, hold for 3 counts. Like all these crazy things we come up with to make it fun, right? Yeah. And harder, that too. So read those, have a look at them. Again, if you don't have an exercise, it doesn't feel right, the workout's too long, the workout's too short, let us know and let us be the one at it, the master workout, and not you starting to swap things around that might, you know, the app knows a few things or two, but not everything. Your coach knows better. So please use us for that. If you have a coach, you don't have to spend time on changing that either. The times that that Trainerize, the WarriorBabe app gives you, like say it says the estimated workout is 30 minutes. It could easily be a 60-minute workout or a 25-minute workout, depending. The app has it's just a tool. So if the workout's too long, let us know. If it's too easy, let us know, right? We're here for it, and we take the challenge on. So communication. If you're not sure if you do an exercise right, or you've never done it before and the video is not super clear, your coach can do a voiceover for herself. She might have send one from another coach, all the things. Also, send a video of yourself doing that exercise. We love that. Now the WarriorBabe app only lets you give in minutes. So ask for your coach's email address and just email her the exercise. You don't have to go editing and stuff. You don't need to be a pro. It's tech ways enough. We'll figure it out for you. We love videos, but I totally understand it's very scary to take a video of yourself in a busy gym. I totally get it. But if you do it, we really love it. And it's okay if someone walks 4 over. It's not the perfect video. Again, we're not here for like super fancy things. We just want to see your form. And or I love to see your face while you do it. Because if you're looking all pretty and smiley at the end, I think you didn't work hard enough. Okay. So
Yeah.
make it ugly faces. We like those too.
For sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugly faces for sure. Grunting for sure.
Mhm.
If you look really cute when you work out, something didn't work, something's not right. Okay, one last thing to touch on for this segment is your fancy little smartwatch. Okay, everybody's got one, whether you have a Fitbit, a Garmin, an Apple Watch. They're great, right? It's going to track your steps, going to tell you to stand, sit, all the things. It's going to give you a move ring. That move ring is something that's like not accurate, right? Like I say lower that baby so that you can get the dopamine hit of just closing it just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? Like just for, okay, I close my ring. And even with the stand one, it doesn't have to be 12 hours. You can set it to 10, you can set it to 8. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice dopamine hit. It's a little check off, but don't be a slave to this thing, right? Use it to track your steps. Have a healthy relationship. I think like, healthy relationship with our scale, healthy relationship with our watches, healthy relationship with just exercise in general, but it's not the end all be all. The other thing too, it's not super accurate, is your heart rate. If you come from that cardio background and you're just like, oh my God, I gotta get my heart rate up to a certain this or blah, blah, blah. It may not be right on here. Okay. And that's not super important to be tracking that unless you've got something going on with your coach and you guys have talked about that, but like I said, use it as a guide, use it loosely, and have fun with it, but don't be a slave to it. Okay. And one last thing is steps and a step goal. You may have a step goal already, you may have a walking goal, you may have something with your coach. I think most of us are big step people in the community of the WarriorBabe community. So you may not have a step goal. You may have like a 30-minute walk programmed or whatever it is, but your coach, whatever your coach has programmed for you has been designed for you. That's the most important thing. Okay. So if you walked into this program and you're like, I'm doing 20,000 steps a day, and your coach is like, whoa, we're putting the brakes on that. Like we're going to pull that back a little bit. Trust that she has your best interest at heart. Trust that she's the pro in this process. Trust that she's got your back. And if you're coming from a 20,000 step goal to something smaller, she knows what she's doing, so that's really important to, again, trust in the process, but trust in your coach, that's really important. If we're going to say excuse me, when you do that, you're going to be really successful. Like you're going to have a great time too. All right. Any questions before we move off this topic? I think I saw one in the chat. No?
No, it's AI saying they're leaving, so bye-bye.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's so weird. That's freaking me out. Okay.
After 40 minutes every time. I don't know.
Weird. Okay. All right, let's talk about the other things that are important, the accessories. Okay. Mo touched on this already. I don't know if I've said it or not, but the word consistency, you're probably going to get real sick of that. But it is huge. I like to call it imperfect consistency. Okay. Because it's not always going to look the same, right? You're going to have weeks when you're like, man, you were just on and everything was just firing at all cylinders. We're not perfect, but you were consistent, right? And then maybe the next week you're traveling for work, or you got a sick kid, or your husband's sick, or something happens and you get thrown off. You need to learn how to pivot. You need to be the queen of being able to pivot and switch up gears and be okay with, like, maybe you have 3 workouts scheduled and you got in 2 because you couldn't get the 3rd one in because you got, someone's throwing up and you're doing all the things. That is cool. Workouts aren't going anywhere, right? You've got the next week to get right back on track to that cadence or whatever it is that you're on. But imperfect consistency will serve you well because it's also going to help you manage your expectations. I can't stress that enough. Like if you come in with that dieter's mentality of like all or nothing, nope, if I don't get to have like Monday's workout, screw it. I'm not going to work out the rest of the week. It's like, really? Like you can't be, that way of thinking. We no longer subscribe to that, right? We are of the mindset of, okay, something happened on Monday, whatever, it could have been like a hurricane, weather, things like that. Power was out at a lot of gyms around here. And we had that last hurricane. What are you going to do? It's not open, like lead into your steps. Control the things you can control. Okay. That is totally within you to control that. Okay. Missing a workout's not the end of the world. You can get right back on track. You can move Monday's workout to Tuesday. I know, call me crazy. You have the flexibility to do that. Maybe your workouts are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have to bump them to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like that is possible, right? Like all things are possible as long as you go into this with like an open mindset and I can do this mindset versus I can't do this. Okay. So imperfect consistency, learn to love that process and also listen to your body. This circles back to the sleep. If you got 5 hours of sleep, guess what? That workout gets moved to the next day because that is not enough sleep for the body. So learn to listen to your body. If you are sick, for God's sakes, you are not working out. When I get a message like, hey coach, I'm really sick, I'm not sure what I should do. I'm like, you should put your little happy ass in bed and you should rest. You should get healthy and yes, get some protein in if you can, but it's really important to pay attention to your body, learn to listen to your body, love your body. And loving your body is listening to your body for the cues that it is giving you when rest is important. Sometimes rest is more important than getting in that workout. Cool.
Absolutely. And sometimes going to bed's more important than getting those last few macros in, right? Sleep
Yes.
above anything and everything. So you saw one thing or heard one thing saying us during this call a bunch of times, like it's not going to be an easy ride and it's not going to be perfect and we're going to make mistakes. Cool. We're going to learn from those mistakes and we're going to fall forward. There is not such a thing of like the weekend didn't go by plan, the week was all weird, because what did you learn in that week? Maybe it is that you need to have some protein bars in every purse. Maybe that is that you need to have some flexibilities to move your workouts. Maybe that is that you are not having the time to do 60-minute workouts. It doesn't matter what it is, but you're learning from it. So you're always pivot and your next decision, even if it is just drinking a glass of water instead of a glass of wine, that is actually, that's not just, that's an amazing win. So learning along the way, failing is beautiful because you're learning from it, right? We should really say what's your fail of the week, not your win of the week, because that's where you learned it from. So also really pay attention what's going to work for you. And maybe when you met your coach the very first time, you were like, I'm going to do 5 workouts a week every morning. I'm always hitting 10,000 steps, easy with these macros. And then, life happens, seasons change. You just didn't kind of realize how it is to work out every week, 5 days versus this 1 week yes, 1 week no kind of thing. We pivot, we work with you, we change goals. We'll ask you what your goals are all of the time. Yeah, we read your intake form, we heard you the first time, but you might have changed your mind because you're learning a lot along the way about yourself and about how things work. So goals and things can change all of the time. We just want to make it a plan so we can keep to it all together. So whatever works for you, pay attention to how your body responds. You are unique and your situation is unique. Lucky you have a coach that literally works with you, right? So there's no problem, nothing for you to stress about. Just let us know. Be so open with this communication. I kind of said it earlier as well, but I just want to say it again. These check-ins are for yourself more so than for us. Yes, it's a great reminder for me to make you a loop once I see that form coming in, but I have other ways to get reminded of that, but we want you to check it in. Why did you not hate your macros? Maybe there was no good reason. Okay, great. Maybe there was something that happened. Maybe you were sick. Maybe the kids were sick, whatever it might be. But these check-ins are more so for you, with you and for you and us, because we already saw your food logs. We already looked over your calendar. We already saw a lot of these things you answering. So really they're for you. Remember, you're in a community full of like-minded women. You might not have a lot of support at home. You might have a lot, right? You might be the only one lifting because everyone else goes to cardio gyms. Or maybe you're the only one tracking macros and people have opinions. We're here to support you. And if it happens to you, it probably happened to a bunch of other ones. So use your group chat. If you haven't written in your group chat today, or even this week, or ever, this is me telling you, go write something or put a meme in there. You don't have to make it a deep dive story about yourself. We love quotes. We love pet pictures. We love all of it. We want to know, the babes in your group want to know you. So just blast it, anything. It's great. Well, keep it positive. That's what we like. We have the Facebook group as well. A great place to ask questions as well, because you get multiple opinions. Remember, your coach knows best, but if it's about something like more open, it's a great way to connect with people, maybe in your neighborhood. Who knows? There might be another warrior babe living down the street. You really don't know. So find a community, join these calls. And if you can't, I'll pop the link as well in the chat, but you can also talk to your coach. Every call is recorded. Your coach's huddle is recorded as well. That's on a different YouTube link that only your group of underneath your coach has access to. A little bit more intimate. And the big calls, they're all recorded. And catch up, listen to old calls. It's so much fun. Now, a big reminder, especially when we're going into that season slowly, if you're traveling and you need alternative workouts, maybe band workouts or something, give us a little heads up and some notice. Of course, last minute trips happen and we're here for you to support you. But once you know you're going somewhere and something needs to be changed, or, let us know. Give us a message, we'll work it out. And maybe we'll say, it's Thanksgiving weekend, skip the workout, go make memories, right? We're going to say that about food on the holidays. We're going to say, go make memories, eat right, have fun, right? Drink your water. We wanted to make this a lifestyle. There is ways around everything. So we're here for you no matter what. Just be here for us as well. It really makes it easier. Oh, perfect. The links are here. Again, we have every call. We have so many community calls coming up. Your coach knows it all. And if she doesn't, she has 65 or 80. I don't know. Like, you're growing. Coaches behind her. And we communicate. We don't gossip. We support. We love to help out each other, because if I don't know, Chelsea might know, or Caitlin or Kelly, they might know. So absolutely important to do this as a team. Don't think we don't know because of our age, of our experience. We know someone that knows.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We talked the entire hour. I'm not surprised, but
hey, we didn't go over.
Not yet.
We did good. Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? And if this was a lot, because we talk a lot and we talk fast, again, everything is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick reminder, there's no community call tomorrow, but there will be a huddle this week, most likely. Or there's plenty of calls on this recorded YouTube link that you can keep your company. Nikkiey also has an incredible podcast, The Macro Hour. If you haven't listened to last Friday's episode, again, if you listen to the recording, it's with Mike Miller, an interview. Fire, really good.
Awesome.
I don't see any questions.
I know you guys, ladies, are quiet tonight.
They're taking it all in.
I know, it's a lot. You can ask your questions to your coaches too later if you think about something. Definitely.
Awesome. Don't forget to post in our group chat.
Yes, post.
Go to the Facebook
chat.
group.
Mm-hmm. We
Use
like
it.
the group chat going.
Me too. Awesome.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
ladies, for joining us tonight, today,
Thank you.
wherever you are. Thanks, Celeste. It was so fun. Thank you,
Thank you,
ladies. Keep
Mo.
crushing it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.